So ever since VShojo got exposed for not paying their talents and stealing $515,000 of money that was supposed to go to the charity, the Immune Deficiency Foundation, and all of the other talents leaving, many of them talking about how they hadn't been paid in months, there's been a lot of revelations about exactly how things were at VShojo, talents being silenced, the terms of the contracts, and very interestingly, the NDAs that VShojo used to keep a kind of narrative and a brand image that they are this very progressive company and everybody loves being there, and if anybody left, it was because they were greedy and just wanted a bunch of money, and it wasn't anything to do with the company. Well, about a day ago, VShojo finally responded to all of the allegations of theft of hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of dollars, as well as their entire roster quitting, with this post which you can see here, and since the company is clearly defunct, it's on its way to Chapter 7 bankruptcy. The non-disclosure agreements that everybody had to sign are effectively null and void, and Veibae took the opportunity to say her piece on VShojo. She made this tweet responding to the announcement that VShojo failed, saying, "And so our NDAs are now void. Why I left VShojo." Back in 2023, VShojo tried to bully me into one of the most predatory contracts that I have ever seen. When I tried to ask more about it, their COO got extremely hostile with me and refused to answer any of my questions, and so I had to hire a lawyer in order to get some clarification. During the talks, it became clear that VShojo would rather let me go than to take less away from me. They were ultimately wanting me to give up more than half of all my sponsor revenue and over 60% of all merch sales. All I asked from them in return is to not take a cut of the sponsors that I was getting through Mythic, as that cut was already being taken. They said no, they want it all, and so I asked to leave after being treated like I was disposable in our talks. They basically made it seem like they were my employer, and that they're the reason for my success, and that I should be happy to give them my money. In order for me to leave, they demanded I sign an NDA that prevented me from speaking to any other talent about it. I could not say why I was leaving, I could not say what the terms that I was saying no to were. I even got in trouble for advising them to hire their own attorneys. They would watch my streams, read my Discord, and then threaten to sue me. If I said anything that hinted towards how I really felt about the company, I was threatened with a lawsuit. Another one of their leave terms was that they will announce both me and Silver on the same day in order to minimize the damage to their company. Their COO had begun pushing a narrative on 4chan, yes, I'm serious, and other social media that I am leaving because I plan to join OTK and that both me and Silvervale are troublemakers, so they were letting us go. Later, I found out that Nyanners wanted to leave around the same time due to also being unhappy with the contract, but was told that she couldn't because it did not fit their narrative that they were pushing internally and externally. The amount of hate we've gotten over leaving, from fans calling us greedy bitches to people saying we're abandoning our friends and tossing aside the company because we're successful enough, it was painful. Not being able to say anything sucked. I only found out I didn't get paid for any of my sponsors after I had already signed the NDA. After 2 years, I have still not been paid back fully. To add insult to injury, they also demanded I had to pay them back $10K for some of the anniversary assets, which when they sent me back months later were half finished. Despite all of that, I've had immense faith that the company has gotten better over the past 2 years. I assumed they rewrote their contracts after losing 3 people due to them and seeing all the new talent join. Clearly, this was not the case. Now for some fun facts. Their company lawyer has an expired law license. He literally does not practice law anymore, yet he was our point of contact for any legal help we needed. They actively pitted us against one another during my time there, and compared our success to others. They tried enforcing streaming schedules so that our view count would look better due to less overlap. They would always shit-talk other VTuber agencies. They would spend company money to get a tiny dig at them, especially Hololive. It lived rent-free in Gunrun's head. They were convinced Hololive was over when they signed Keisan and Nazuna. Our previous talent manager got ghosted for 6 months by Gunrun, told not to do any work for us, and then got fired for not doing anything. During this fiasco, we weren't able to get any assistance. MTD got reprimanded for being creepy to us. Got told not to message us privately. Go figure. I have proof from other streamers attending their IRL parties that MTD would actively shit-talk me after I left the company, to paint me in the worst light imaginable. Don't know why you're acting innocent on Twitter pretending you weren't aware of anything. Can't wait to see all the shit that comes out about you because there's loads, but those aren't my stories to tell. Thanks for reading, and thanks for those who stuck around between then and now. Thank you for giving me, Silver, and Nyan the benefit of the doubt when we needed it most. most. So yeah, that's just absolutely crazy. I think now that we can clearly see through NDAs and silencing people, trying to control the narrative that way, management at VShojo was painting this narrative that they were some very progressive and friendly and nice group of people, and all the girls there were a family. The company is only there for the success of the VTubers, and all of that couldn't be further from the truth. They were greedy and aggressive. You could say more so than the average corpo agency, and the fact that they let people keep their own IPs isn't really much of a selling point when they didn't really debut a lot of VTubers. All of the OG members of VShojo entered already having those IPs, so of course they're going to keep their name and VTuber model. All of that stuff already belongs to them. Gunrun talked about generous revenue splits, but you can see that Veibae completely debunks this, and there would be more people that debunk this and how terrible the contracts are, with VShojo wanting 60% of merch sales, half of all of the sponsor revenue, and even wanting a cut of sponsorships that they had no hand at all in getting the talents. If Mythic Talent got them a sponsorship, then they would want a cut just because that talent is part of VShojo. So any money that they make, even when VShojo did absolutely nothing to help them get that, they wanted their cut. And I'm sure they were also taking sub revenue, taking ad revenue. VShojo just has their grubby little fingers in that cookie jar. Whenever they see their talents making money in any way, they want a part of that, even when it's very clear they don't deserve it. Despite this immense greed and being able to raise $11 million from investors, they still managed to blow through all of that and then went as far as stealing over $500,000 from charity to pay their debts. I mean, obviously, there will be lawsuits that come after this, and we're going to figure out exactly what VShojo was spending all of its money on, but it definitely wasn't on making the VTuber agency grow or on actually paying their talents or other financial obligations that they had. They were clearly wasting money one way or another. It's so interesting to see how much is revealed when talents don't have to deal with these NDAs, living in fear of saying the wrong thing and speaking to a member, trying to advise them to leave the company, anything of the sort, potentially leading to a lawsuit. But now that it's clear that VShojo is defunct and doesn't have any money to spend on a lawsuit, matter of fact, it looks like they owe millions of dollars, we're going to be finding out more about exactly how terrible this company was, because these NDAs are not going to be enforced. They are void, which means everybody is allowed to speak their piece on what their experiences were with this company. And when Veibae says MTD, for anybody who doesn't know, MTD was a high-ranking officer at VShojo for a long time. He left around 2 months before all of this went down and the collapse of the company over the past few days, but he knew everything that was going on internally. He knew about the financial situation and everything like that. I mean, Giga, who was just one of the members of VShojo, a VTuber, knew about how bad the financials were. This is Motendu, by the way, and this is his tweet leaving VShojo, possibly trying to jump ship because he knew that it was going to sink in the near future. He saw the iceberg in the horizon and knew that it was too late to correct course. His letter saying, "For the past 5 years, VShojo has been an integral part of my life and journey. Since its inception, I have had the honor and the privilege of working with some of the most hardworking and intelligent team members and have made many friends throughout the VTubing and streaming community. I will always cherish the time we spent together. I take great pride in my contributions to the growth of the VShojo brand, helping shape what it is today through my involvement in most of the forward-facing large-scale media and behind-the-scenes growth operations within the company. As of today, I am formally stepping down from my position as CMO and departing the company to explore new creative endeavors. While this was a difficult decision, I believe it is the right time for me to embark on a new chapter of creative fulfillment in my life. Thank you all for the wonderful memories. See you soon, Motendu." I don't know if it's Motendu or Mautendu. Don't really care though. This guy making this tweet, nah bro, what the absolute at the gun run, is not going to save him from the lawsuits coming his way, because what it would seem to me is that this guy was an executive officer at VShojo and he only left 2 months ago, while according to Kason, talents have not been getting paid at least since September of last year. That's a lot more than 2 months. All of this has been unfolding and developing very quickly, but one thing's for sure is that VShojo is on the hook for a lot of money, and unfortunately the talents who are effectively contractors or were contractors with this organization are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to getting paid. But make no mistake about it, VShojo and its leadership are absolutely screwed. But that's all I have for this update. If you found this video useful, then be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Also join the community Discord, link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.